Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Taylor Teaches English. In this episode, I'm going to review some conversational words and phrases that Americans use. Let's begin. The first one is glad or happy to meet you. When you have been introduced to someone, it is customary to say, I'm glad or I am happy to meet you. We also say things like, it's nice to meet you. The reply is often, I'm happy to meet you too. Let's try some examples. Hi, Mike. I'm glad to meet you. Hi, Alex. I'm glad to meet you. You may have heard this before. It's slightly different from the it's nice to meet you. It's very common for people to say, I'm glad, I am glad, and it's nice to meet you. All of these versions can be used. As a matter of fact. As a matter of fact is a common expression that has a number of different meanings. It introduces a confirmation of what has previously been said. Let's take some examples. I heard you were looking for a job. Someone can respond, as a matter of fact, I am. Here's another example. Your friend is very good looking. Is he single? He is, as a matter of fact. It's very common for as a matter of fact to put emphasis on something being true. Once again, let's go through the examples. I heard you were looking for a job. As a matter of fact, I am. Here's another example. Your friend is very good looking. Is he single? He is, as a matter of fact. You can express the same meaning with actually. Let's take a look. I heard you were looking for a job. I am actually. Once again, this is putting emphasis on something being true or emphasizing that you agree. Your friend is beautiful, but I'll bet she's married. She is actually. We can interchange as a matter of fact and actually. Both of these are good to use in day-to-day conversation. Just. J-U-S-T. Just can be used in many different ways. The use of just can indicate that something happened only a short time before. It can be used with the past tense or with the present perfect tense. This is just being used in the past tense. I just arrived. They just finished. We just ate. He just called. These examples show that something happened a very short time ago, maybe a minute ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, or maybe even 5 seconds ago. Let's look at some present perfect examples. I have just arrived. They have just finished. We have just eaten. He has just called. When we look at the present perfect tense, you notice we use have and has. These should already be covered in your earlier English lessons. So we will just take a look at what some of these mean. I have just arrived. It means they have just completed the action of arriving. They may have arrived maybe a minute ago. Same thing with finished. I have just finished. I finished now, or I finished a minute ago. Something happened a very short time ago. Let's take a look at one more. I can assure you that. Or you can be sure that. These are common ways of saying that you believe something to be true, hoping to win the confidence of a person you are talking to. Let's look at some examples. I can assure you that I will work hard. We could also say, I can assure you that the answer is correct. I can assure you I will be at your house on time. You are trying to convince somebody that you will do something or that something is true. Here's the other version. You can be sure that. You can be sure that something interesting will happen. You can be sure that he will be on time. You can be sure that he will pay you the money he owes you. These are examples of using the phrases to convince you, to try to make you believe something. There's one more variation to this phrase, and it is, I promise you that. For example, I promise you that we won't leave until the work is done. I promise you we'll pick you up on time. I promise you we will not be late. We can use this to try to tell somebody to make them feel that we are telling them the truth. Of course, you should only use these when you are telling the truth. You don't want to use these phrases when you don't mean what you say, or else people will not trust you. Let's review what we went over in this lesson. We started with glad or happy to meet you. Then we learned as a matter of fact. Next, we practiced using just in the past tense and the present perfect. Lastly, we learned 3 phrases that mean something similar. I can assure you that, you can be sure that, and I promise you that. You can email me at tteachesenglish@gmail.com. Follow the Facebook group at Taylor Teaches English. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Taylor Teaches English.